Okay, so now we are going to learn the rib stitch. The rib stitch is where we're going to alternate knit and purls all the way across instead of doing a whole row of either one. One thing that you have to keep in mind is where the yarn comes from. In the back, it's held in the back for the knit stitch, and for the purl stitch, it's held in front. So that's something we've got to keep our mind on. So you hold your yarn. Let's do the knit stitch first. Then we put the yarn in front and we're going to do a purl stitch. Snug it up a little bit, and then we put the yarn in the back for the knit stitch, in front for the purl, in back for the knit, in front for the purl, and we continue on all the way across. You just have to be really aware of where the yarn is, where you're holding the yarn from, whether it's the back or the front. And we just continue all the way across. Knit, bring it to the front and purl, to the back to knit, the front to purl, back to knit, front to purl, back to knit, front to purl, back to knit, and front to purl. Now from the back side, you can tell it's a little different, but it's not real dramatically different. But from the front, if you look at it, if you consider this the front with stockinette, you can really tell where all those ridge bumps, the purl bumps are. So what we're going to do now with the second row is we are going to knit where the knit stitches are, and we're going to purl where the purl bumps are. So we're going to knit that one, bring our yarn in front, and we're going to purl that stitch, and then we're going to go in the back and do the knit stitch. We're going to continue all the way across. Now I'll meet you back here in a little bit after I've done a section so you can see it. Okay, so I've knit about 6 inches of the rib stitch. It looks very different than the other swatches that we've done so far. So it's still 24 stitches, just like this garter stitch and the stockinette stitch, but it leaves a very different fabric. And that you can see that all of the knit stitches are lined up, and then all of the purl stitches. So this is good for cuffs, bottoms of sweaters, tops of socks, things like that. Now let's move on to the seed stitch. We're still going to alternate the knit and purl stitches, but instead of doing them all in line, we're going to alternate them. So let's see what that fabric looks like.